So they had done a lot of old school stuff, middle of the road pricing, but they did very good work, right?
Yep.
And so they had a very loyal clientele. Well, here I come, and I'm the young blood with all these wild ideas, right? And
Yeah.
they're constantly having to keep me at bay, right? Some of this stuff they would let me try, and it worked.
Yeah.
And some of this stuff they were like, take it easy, Tiger.
Yeah.
So it became apparent pretty quick that I was probably going to end up going off on my own.
Welcome to the Carpet Cleaner Success Podcast, a show created to inspire carpet cleaning business owners to build their own thriving residential and commercial cleaning business. Your host, John Clendenning, has built and sold successful cleaning businesses for multiple six figures over his 30-year career and is the founder of Carpet Cleaner Marketing Masters, a digital agency that turns your online marketing into a lead generation machine. Tune in as John shares proven tips, strategies, and expert interviews to help fast-track your success in the carpet cleaning industry.
Hey, welcome back for another exciting episode of the Carpet Cleaner Success Podcast. Your host, John Clendenning here. We bring exciting information that you need to know running a cleaning business, interviews with cleaners, which we have today, and all that kind of good stuff to help you navigate the crazy world of owning your own business and in this cleaning space in general. Today, I'm very pleased to have good friend Michael Clevenger, and Michael's going to tell us all about his business, and going to get a little bit of some coaching and training that Michael does now as well for the cleaning industry as well. So we're going to have that conversation. Well, welcome, Michael. I really appreciate you jumping on the call today. How are things going?
Things are going great. Thank you for having me, John. I've been excited about this.
Yeah, I have too. So we just talking a little before we started here that I'm staring out a window at a snowstorm, and Michael's not going to explain how sunny and balmy and lovely the weather is in Arizona. So
Right.
with that said, tell us a little bit about you, the business, how long you've been in business, like what got you into this, like just a little bit of a background story. Like just kind of start
Yeah.
somewhere about you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have 2024 marks 28 years of cleaning.
Wow.
Yep. Quite a little tenure there. It also marks the same year I got started cleaning, which was in 1996.
Yep.
Was the same year Heather and I got married.
Awesome.
So we've been married and I've been cleaning for 28 years. This summer will be our anniversary.
Congratulations.
So when you do something that long, the same thing, you get really good at it. Um, and so how I got started though was Heather and I were dating, matter of fact, and in one of the congregation I was in, there was one of the members of the congregation owned his own carpet cleaning business. So
Okay.
I was working at the room store at the time, making $7.50 an hour, which was minimum wage at the time,
Yeah.
and wasn't really happy there. And he offered me a position as a tech, and so I jumped on it. I was really green.
Mhm.
Him and I didn't. I'm the type of person it takes a long time for me to learn something.
Okay.
Um, but once I learn it, I get really good at it, right? Especially if it's something that I like.
Yeah.
I'm super competitive as well. So I always want to get good at whatever it is that I'm doing, right?
That's a good trait to
So
have for sure.
it took me a little while. This particular person that I was working for didn't have the patience that I needed. So we parted ways.
Okay.
And then I was hired on with another uh, company, a sister company in another congregation, actually. We kind of have a network. And
Okay.
they actually became my carpet cleaning parents, uh, Marlon and Shirley. Marlon was uh, a similar personality to me, really low key, very calm, not too high, not too low.
Yeah.
And was just exactly what I needed. And so I worked for them for 3 years and I had all these wild ideas. And they celebrated their 25th anniversary in business while I was working with them.
Okay.
So they had done a lot of old school stuff, middle of the road pricing, but they did very good work, right?
Yeah.
And so they had a very loyal clientele. Well, here I come, and I'm the young blood with all these wild ideas, right? And
Yeah.
they're constantly having to keep me at bay, right? Some of the stuff they would let me try and it worked.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff they were like, take it easy, Tiger.
Yeah.
So it became apparent pretty quick that I was probably going to end up going off on my own.
Yep.
So at the time, Heather and I were newly married, and that's ended up what happened. We parted ways as friends.
Yeah.
My in-laws helped me financially get started with my first truck, and that was in 1999, and the
Yeah.
rest is history.
And that was the Cleaning Monkey. Was that the
That
name
what
started at that point as well? Or?
that wasn't.
Okay.
I was a division of my father-in-law's business,
Okay.
which was his acronym was SCI, which was Shaughnessy Contracting Incorporated.
Okay.
And so
You were the cleaning division of that.
yes, so
Yeah.
I ended up using the same acronym, and we
Yep.
were Steam Cleaning Incorporated.
Okay.
And
Oh
so
yeah. So it works.
we were doing it was a DBA sort of thing.
Yeah.
And in
Fascinating.
2007, I decided to break off completely on my own.
Okay.
And 2007 marked the birth of the Cleaning Monkey. And the
Gotcha.
way that name came about, everybody always likes to know.
Yeah. That was going to be my next question. I've never
Yep.
heard this story, so I get.
Yeah, is when the kids were little, I always called them monkeys. Like
Yeah.
if they did something fast or good, you're a monkey.
Yeah.
And so we were trying to come up with a name for the business. I wanted it to be easy to remember first,
Yeah.
but then I wanted it to be professional. So all the ones that I was coming up with were already taken. I wanted healthyhomecleaning.com, and that's been
Yeah.
taken
Long since gone.
yeah, all kinds of different ways. And so I jokingly suggested, what do you guys think of the Cleaning Monkey to the family during a Sunday breakfast? Still remember the morning.
Oh,
And
that's awesome.
the kids just absolutely loved it. Who doesn't love monkeys, especially
Yeah.
when you're little, right?
Yeah.
My wife, Heather, loved the idea because it was so unique, right?
Yeah.
And I told her, I am not going to be called the Cleaning Monkey. That is too silly. It's not professional. And I was completely against it, right?
Yeah.
And so for about 2 weeks, we went back and forth. And the idea started she started leaning into me about it.
Yeah.
I checked, and the cleaningmonkey.com and the cleaningmonkey.net were both available. Imagine that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I reserved those domains
Yeah.
and begrudgingly moved forward with the idea. And it was one of the best decisions we've made because it's taken on a life of its own. And
Yeah.
all
Well,
the
it
gifts
stands
I
out.
have,
Like, yeah, sorry to interrupt, but it stands out like the branding. That's one thing that some people get right. I've heard Mark Sager talk about this on some of his live interviews and stuff like that as well. Is like, in our industry, there's a lot of sort of, well, there's the crowd that does the white van and a magnet on the side, and we can talk about what that means and stop that, please. But then there's like, people that brand, but they brand sort of around a corporate look, and it's like like again, you added fun and whimsy into it. You added something that's memorable. You added something that would stand out with really good marketing. So you created that brand awareness just by being a little bit disruptive, right? And kind of just a little avant-garde, but still kosher, still not, again, nothing too shocking. You're not trying to push the envelope, but it is a little makes people go, wait a minute, what? Kind of
yeah,
idea. And
yeah,
there's in hindsight, yeah, definitely love your wife to death for talking you into or pushing you in that direction, because it's like
yeah,
it is part of the thing that makes businesses stand out is how can you think of your brand well and then build around it.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and that is true because even though it is a little silly,
Yeah.
and it doesn't project how like super good we are at what we do,
Yeah.
um, it is very rememberable.
Yeah, and
And
you can always put all that other stuff in a tagline. Like really, like
yes,
that's there's multiple levels of your brand awareness, right? I talk about it as the four foundations of building a cleaning business and or building any business. Is one of them is your brand identity, right? So founder's story, brand identity, risk reversal guarantee, and compelling sales proposition. Build those out right, and the rest of your marketing can use that foundation to adjust and adapt and grow and stuff like that. So you've got the ability to go into, hey, I got the brand identity. It stands out, and now I can say what it stands for. Now that becomes your sales propositions, your bullet points, your all of those kinds of things, and get into that whole cleaning for health and superior quality as the
Yeah.
main message out of that or from there. Once they've got your attention to go, what's that band you're on my, or
Yeah.
what's that door hanger? Why have I got a monkey on it? And then
Yeah.
now they can read a little
And
farther.
you're right, it has worked because there have been customers when we didn't have our stay in touch program dialed in,
Yeah,
which part of my coaching program now. But they would forget about me except for they remembered monkey,
there's
right?
something to
They
do with a
remembered
monkey in this guy.
monkey
Yep.
and they remembered cleaning. And
Yeah.
so as long as they Google those two words,
Yes.
bang, my stuff pops up.
Yeah, and in today's day and age, like again, 2007, we were like the iPhone only got released and invented 2007, and a year later we are in the beginning of, a serious recession, right? So it's like the internet sort of what to do online or even that kind of thing, and people Googling you came 2, 3, 4 years later before that really became the mechanism everybody chose, versus the yellow pages when that finally died and that kind of thing, right? So no, that's yeah. So we've got a really good brand identity. You've obviously talked about delivering a high end service. So right from the starting with that first company, then your parents in carpet cleaning, as you call them, or having taught you, even that level of, so you've been indoctrinated all the way through to not be, by the sounds of it, the $99 splash and dash cleaner right from day one, and you understand the value of that.
Yeah.
So when you brought that into your own company first, under the DBA, and then transition into the cleaning monkey, what were some of the things you thought of early on? What are some of the things you've adapted even further, like again, around that sort of higher end appeal and doing the job right, for the right clients that are going to hire you back, multiple times a year after year, until they're in the old folks home? Like, how did
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. And it was a migration for sure. Like the first 10 years,
yeah,
I thought like everybody else did. In order to be competitive, you have to offer a as good or better service for a cheaper price,
yeah,
right? And that is a death by a thousand needles, I
isn't
say,
it? Yeah,
because you don't stand out. You don't have the profit margin to have a healthy company financially. You don't have, it doesn't afford you the time to wow your client. Like everybody loses on so
yeah.
many levels, right?
You
You're in
can't
the
hire
land.
a quality technician because you can't pay them the
Can't.
right wage. Your van ends up being a bit of a rust bucket because you never thought of the life cycle of a vehicle that needs every single day, and every single job needs to pay for the replacement of the truck
Yep.
mount, the truck, the equipment, and all of that stuff that you won't see for another 5 years or whatever.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody loses. You're in the land of average.
Yeah.
You're stuck on the island of average, right? I
Island of
call it.
average. Yeah.
And so what I did pay attention to is that there were clients that were super, super silky smooth and
Mm.
easy to deal with and clean floors. They didn't question the price. They were close to home. And I thought, and then there were the campfires, I call them,
Yeah.
where we have to work so hard at restoring these pathways and customer just no matter
They're still
what
not
you
happy with the
can't
results.
please them. Yeah, you can pull off a magic act and they
Yeah.
will not appreciate your hard work, right?
Yep.
So I started paying attention to these two groups and everybody in the middle. And I thought, you know what if we could find a way to have a business that was just full of and attracted only those top end VIP clients,
Yeah.
right? So I started doing a ton of research, a ton of like mindset, hiring coaches, like
Okay.
personal development stuff.
So you
And
went all in on this idea. Like, this
I
wasn't just
did.
a, hey, let me think about it, let me pray on it. This is like, hey, let me actually do the work on it too.
Yes, I
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
like deep dived on the psychology behind becoming a premium company, right? And it doesn't apply to just our cleaning business.
Yeah.
This applies all to all kinds of different industries, but especially to the home service business because what I call the VIP client, they don't want just anybody in their home, right? And so they have certain buying habits and they want certain things and they don't want certain things,
Yeah.
right? And so I spent a lot of money and time and learning this whole thing, and I realized that what we had been taught was completely wrong this whole time.
Okay.
And that is the concept that a premium price actually attracts a premium client was completely foreign to me. I thought,
Hmm.
there's no way I can raise my prices to a uncomfortable level
Yep.
and 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 not lose business,
Yeah.
right? My business couldn't survive doing that, right? That was what I thought,
Very
and
common thought. Yep. Yep.
completely wrong.
Yeah.
And so the more I learned and the more like specialty coaches I
Yep.
talked to, I learned that not just in this industry, but in a lot of industries, that
Yeah.
you can be on that top level and it actually separates you.
It does. Yeah.
Like like before
Pricing is a
you
marketing piece.
yes, before
Yeah.
you even talk to the client,
Yeah.
the rumors about your reputation,
Yeah.
and I get customers now coming to me that I've never talked to, and they say, I was referred to you by my friend, and they said, you're not the cheapest company,
Yeah.
but you are the best, right? And
We used to
so
put that right in our Yellow Page ad. If you're looking for a cheap brush the dirt off the surface cleaning, there's lots of other cleaners on this page. And that was the exact wording in our Yellow. We actually had to get it signed off by the Yellow Page company. But if
that's
you want the
awesome.
job done right, you keep reading, right? And I would prefer phone calls from customers that said, okay, I get the fact from everything I've looked at, and we're talking mid 2000s even, so pre-internet really, and not a lot of people are checking Yellow Pages, but they're whatever research, do your own research. They're doing some of it wherever, asking friends, talking around, all of that kind of stuff came across the advertisement, and they would call up and say, so I get that you guys are a little bit more expensive. How much extra do I have to pay to get you? And instead of
Yes,
how much does it cost to get 3 bedrooms and a hallway and a flight of stairs done,
yes,
can you be here today? And is it under $100? It's like, how much extra do I have to pay to get you? And that is a whole different place to start a conversation.
yeah, and
And
that's actually where you want to be.
yeah. And I learned as well from, I can't remember who taught me this, but it might have been like a Dan Kennedy something or whatever. Cause like I was deep into the Dan Kennedy world early on in my 20s. Kind of stair step my way and going, oh, this is the guy that's teaching a lot of these people, and Jay Abram and Michael Gerber, the E-Myth and stuff like that. Again, I didn't know what I didn't know, and I was smart enough to realize, at least I'm driving around every day. Give me a university in my cassette tapes and
Yes.
and then CDs and joining coaching programs and doing all that kind of stuff. And somebody ran the math for me once, and it was an eye opener, like the moment you had, that if you raise your price by 10% and nothing else about the finances of your company changes, so 10% went straight to the bottom line in profit, you would have to lose almost 40% of your clients in a normal cleaning business with the cost of gas and leases and solutions and technicians and office staff and what, just the overhead to run the business. You would have to lose almost 40% of your clientele before that extra 10% of raw cash started affecting your profitability.
Yep.
Right. So I'm going, I could get rid of half my clients and make the exact same money. Well, that's, I don't want that to happen. But if that happened, that's a worst case scenario, is not a bad place to go, and be a
Right.
better company. Right. So,
Right.
yeah. So
Totally.
you obviously learned that message from your coaches and consultants in a different way, but the same kind of thing is raise your prices, you get a better clientele. The person that lives on Golf Course Road has a 3,000 square foot home with an off-white dog, an off-white couch, off-white tile, and off-white, carpets, and is going to clean 2 or 3 times a year, summer, if not all of it, is not looking for the $99 cleaner. And in
Nope.
fact, they are worried about the $99 cleaner.
Yeah.
If you go look at their gardeners, and I talk about this, like they're the uniformed company that shows up in a nice trucks and their maid service that they have. They're in uniform. Somebody has thought through the business, whether it's a franchise or an independent. They're delivering a client experience that
Yep.
befits that client, because that client has the money to pay for experiences. Right.
Yep.
So if you can deliver the best, not just cleaning company experience, but the best in-home service experience that somebody's ever gotten, from the moment they reach out to you all the way through to the moment you show up, to the moment you're done the job, saying, bye, Mrs. Jones, we'll see you next time. And then the follow-up routine is this They just go,
Yes.
oh, this is amazing. It's like you're remarkable, as I like to say, which means they're going to remark on you when they're
Yeah.
talking with their friends and family. They're going to go to the bridge club if people still play bridge these days or whatever, but they're going to go to their their whatever, their lawn bowling and their golfing and their pickleballs and all that kind of stuff and go, "Oh my God, I had these guys over the other day." And I
Yep.
mean, and they talk about you. And that
Absolutely.
alone in their circle creates a unique marketplace of one. You're competition proof by that point.
Yeah, you
So
are. You make your competition irrelevant.
you do.
You've taken that customer off the market
Yeah.
and you've built them into your annual income.
Yeah. And
Which is
that's a
great.
brilliant point there too, as well, because a lot of cleaners that we talk to, you and I both, they do believe this whole 99, 89, 79 race to the bottom thinking, because that's just how you get customers. And they don't realize the value in business is the list. So your customer list, your leads list, your referral partner list, build lists that you can put a fence around and market to, and that's the value of the business when you go to sell it. It isn't the truck mount and the wand. It is the value of your database. Hey, I've got 4,000 customers in my database, and 2,100 come back once a year, every single year, based on my database outreach and marketing. And they were their only company. They don't even consider the anybody else, because
Right.
we do a great job, and we say what we're going to do, and we do what we say we're going to do, and we do it really well. And
Yeah.
because of that, they don't go shopping, but the $99 guy looks for the $99 deal next time.
Yep. And I'll say this,
Mm.
John, it was very scary making this migration.
Yeah.
Like I remember the first real price bump. So
Yeah.
I had offered 3 packages at one time, and
Yep.
my top package, and I gave a 20% discount on everything,
Mhm.
always. So
Okay.
my top package started at 55 cents a square foot. I called it the presidential package.
Okay. Yeah.
After the discount, it was in the 40s, right?
Yeah.
And so I remember moving that up to 70 cents
Yeah.
a square foot out the door, right? I was gonna not do the 20% discount, be 70 cents a square foot out the door and see what happened, right?
Yep.
And so all the packages moved up. So I tried it for 30 days and no customers had a problem. So
Yeah.
I
Isn't
thought,
that crazy when that
yeah,
happens? It's like it's
I
all
thought,
between it's between here.
yes, why
Just
didn't
try.
I
And
do
if they
this
did have a
before?
problem, why couldn't, like, if you really went, oh crap, that didn't work, lower the prices a bit again, find the sweet
Yeah,
spot. Like, why do
yep.
we care so much? But we do.
Yeah. So
Panic
then
season.
my next breakthrough was that instead of I noticed that people for the most part on averages bought the package in the middle.
Okay.
I was having a smaller percentage than I wanted buying the presidential package. So I thought, what if I only offered the presidential package,
Yeah.
like across the board, 70 cents a square foot. I was
Yep.
scared to death,
Yeah,
right?
that's another
Do
big
this.
jump. Yep.
But I committed for 30 days and
Okay.
only one customer
Said
had a
no.
problem with it.
Yeah.
So that was how it happened all the way up
Yeah.
to now. Today, I charge $1 a square foot
Yeah.
carpet cleaning and $1.50 for tile and grout, which, according to averages, is definitely on the higher.
Oh, you're definitely pushing the market. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're averaging $130, $140 a room. Some
Yeah.
of our jobs are over $200 a room,
Yep.
and the same thing is happening. Like these customers aren't flinching.
Yeah.
Now, I did have to learn this, that if everyone was saying yes to my price, if
Yeah.
everyone was saying yes to your price, you're priced too low.
I knew where you're going with that. The second I started smiling and say, yeah, how many times have you heard from other cleaners, stuff like that? Well, I tried to do this, and I tried to send an email. And one person messaged me and said, stop. So we can't run this anymore.
Right.
And I'm like,
Yes.
you only got one? How many did you send? Well, I said
Right.
1,000. Yeah,
Yeah.
until you get about 100, maybe 200, I'd be concerned. But that means even the other 800 still were okay with it, right? So
Yes.
it's like, yeah,
Yes.
no, exactly.
So the few,
Yeah.
the less than 20%,
Yeah.
it was more like 10% that had
Yes.
a problem with the price, and it would have been a deal breaker,
Yeah.
right? Was confirmation to me, and this only happened through my coaching. I
Okay.
never would have had the mindset and
Yeah, that's good.
discipline to realize
Yeah.
that that was proof that I was priced where I should be.
Yeah.
in the old days, I would have been like, okay, I'm priced
Yeah.
too high. I got to come back down, right? So because I had that proof of concept,
Yeah.
I realized that I had to find a spot where I was getting some no's, but
Yes.
that the majority were yeses. And here's the other baffling numbers.
Mm.
And I tell my new students this, as a one truck owner operator, if we're going to offer a wow service experience,
Yep.
we can only service 1 to 3 customers a day. I mean,
Exactly.
there's
Yep.
only
Yep.
8 working hours in a day.
Yeah.
If we don't want to work nights and we don't want to work weekends, which I consider a balanced work life
Yep.
balance,
Yep.
then we can only service 1 to 3 clients a day, Monday through Friday. That
Yep.
is, if you take a 2 week vacation, that is 500 to 750 job spots
Yep.
to fill our whole year.
Yes.
So if 500 to 750 jobs will fill our entire year
Yep.
as a one truck owner operator, let's be picky as to who we put in those spots.
And let's have our
Oh,
average job turn out to be about $500 to $700 an average
yes,
job. So you make
absolutely.
2,500 or 250,000, which is I've been saying for years. An average one
Exactly.
truck operation should be 250 to 300,000, and you can get
Yes.
away with that with, with one guy or a guy and a helper if he needs a whatever, but in a truck. And your next truck should be starting at 150 to 200,000 and growing to that
Yes.
250. And then it marketplace dependent, you can scale
Yep.
from there. But yeah, absolutely. No.
So so that was an eye opener, and
Yeah.
that's what I tell my new students that
Yeah.
we're small, so act small,
Yes.
embrace the fact that you're small,
Yeah.
and be picky. Just find systems, which is
Yep.
one of the things we coach
Yep.
on how to attract those VIP clients.
Yep. No, and I think that's brilliant because again, the marketplace is there. A couple things to kind of just highlight and put a pin in what you've said there. You've mentioned, the fact that you've had coaches all the way along. I don't know anybody, coaches and mentor groups and all of it. I don't know anybody who has been successful in any business without having a mastermind group, a board group, a members, coaches and things like that. I just got back a week ago from Florida. So I've been a carpet cleaner all my life, finally sold my brick and mortar business, done marketing, consulting, and now digital marketing and that kind of thing for consulting for 15 or 20 years, digital marketing as carpet cleaner marketing masters for the last 5 years. So obviously I'm in mastermind groups and board groups and coaching and consulting on the agency side, and just came back from a meetup that we do every 4 months. We meet every month on Zoom, once every 4 months, fly into Miami and have a meeting of some of the smartest agency owners in the room. One of the things we just learned, which is interesting, is there is a lot of people in the business world today that need to hear this message and need to hear what you're saying, because we have been in this since the 2008-9 recession, quantitative easing, money printing, everything kind of is going up and to the right. The money supply is expanding, inflation expanding, the cost is expanding, and people are spending discretionary income more and more and more. They were. And this was going on because of massive money printing and the way the economy was and all that kind of stuff. And there was an economist actually speaking at our group 2 weeks ago in Florida. And one of the things he was showing is the wheels fell off in 2019. Then we had this grand distraction in 2020 for a couple of years that took our minds off of it, threw more money into the mix, and created the hyperinflation that we're dealing with and interest rates going up and stuff like that. But what it's done is, in that window of time where all these new business owners, the guys are in their 20s and their 30s, all they know of is, I just have to jump into the market, get my share. Let me run Facebook ads, let me run Google ads, let me run local service ads, let me do whatever, and I just need to get my share of this growing pie. Well, we're now back in the world that I remember from the 90s and 2000s. I remember from my father telling stories of business in the 80s and 70s and 60s. We are now back in that realm where the discretionary income being assigned to things like cleaning or what is now being allocated more strategically by homeowners again. I don't care if they say inflation's only at 3% or 5% or whatever. We know our grocery bills have doubled. We know our van lease payments have doubled. We know our mortgages have gone up. We know the cost of labor has gone through the roof because we've got we've got a growing older population, baby boom, first time in human history where the actual bubble is in the middle and moving its way to older age. So we've now got a labor shortage problem that means prices of labor go up, even if we're not as profitable. And we're really running into a situation where it is survival of the fittest. You survive and thrive by really dialing in, again, the message. Like the affluent people with more money have less issues whether they paid $500 for cleaning or $1,000 for cleaning, because it happened once a year, and they bring home 20, 30, 40,000 a month or whatever, just household income. It's an entirely different conversation than the family that lives on 60 or 80,000 a year. Take home after taxes is a percentage of that, and all of their other bills and mortgage included went up. They have to still think about Tommy and Sally's college or university education and wedding and like saving for those things. And they're going, where's the money coming from? Let's not worry about the carpet cleaning. And it's becoming more of a dog eat dog. And we're starting to see it. And I think it's just going to get worse because this isn't a temporary transition. This is a massive shift back to the way things kind of worked, where the best win, and you fight for setting your company apart, and you can't get away with showing up in jeans and a t-shirt with a magnet on the side of your van anymore and just saying, well, my Facebook ads work. It's just not sustainable.
Right.
So speaking of that, if we so you obviously have a different message, you have a different clientele, you're in a marketplace that has a good, like, again, retirees and a good volume of them, and you like everything aligns beautifully well for you, and you teach your students how to do that in their marketplace as well. What did the transition of marketing as you started finding these better clients, how did the transition into not the everything for everybody marketing, but to, hey, this is a unique crowd, and marketing is still the same thing. I get to get the message in front of my ideal target in the medium that they see it in. Referrals, referral partners, neighborhoods, more of that personal touch and less of that mass plaster touch. How did that look prior to you thinking through this process of changing your pricing and moving through to just that one high-end package? And how does it look now as a marketing mix that really keeps that crowd knowing who you are, and only that crowd, and the rest of them you could care less about?
Yeah, it's all in the language that you project through your marketing, but then also how you talk and how you even attract those clients. So in this migration, in this learning process, I got to and actually I'm developing a module in our training program called the VIP client anatomy.
Okay.
Which is going deep on what it is that the VIP client wants, where they live, how they buy, where they shop, all of that stuff.
Their fears, their desires, the things that
Yes.
keep them awake at night. Yeah, the whole client avatar really dived. Yeah.
Absolutely. And price is so far down the list
Yeah.
on their minds
Yeah.
that a lot of us carpet cleaners have a hard time even relating to that type of thinking, right?
Yep.
So I found out that by advertising alongside the masses, which I call the red ocean, right? The difference between the red ocean and the blue ocean.
Yeah.
Advertising in the same medias, the same language, price advertising, 20% off this, trying to bait them, I call it.
Yeah.
Throwing out these deals, right? Offering deals.
Yep.
I found that is the type of client you're going to attract. If you win a client over on price or a deal, you're going to lose them on price or the next great deal, right? So start speaking the language of the type of client you want to attract.
Yes.
So I figured out that the VIP client wants to be referred to us by a trusted source.
Yep.
Some of them do go on Google, and you can develop a great footprint as you have mastered, right? i.e. carpet cleaning masters.
Yeah. Yep, your reputation. Like we start with, and again, years ago, we start with reputation marketing because it was what I realized the exact thing you did through the 2000s, and then like the early 2000s, and then the after 2010 to 2020, and the dawn of the internet as sort of like the place that has people's attention. Okay, again, you and I align on so many things. It's like, where do you find that ideal client in this medium? How does it play into the mix? Because you still need the interior designers, the maid services, and all these referring you. I have a big part of the marketing that I've always done in my own business, was for me to go out for lunch and go to the BNIs and the chambers and find the people that actually have a congregation of my ideal client around them that they can then speak about me to their audience. Because they're like, I even found that down the road it became the I'm trying to remember her name right now, April, and she owned a hair salon, and I met her at an event. She said, "Oh, John, I want to try you guys out." Blah blah blah. I came to realize she owned a hair salon in the high end area of town and was charging like massive prices, and had all the the housewives, all of Beverly Hills crowd, kind of as her clientele. And I went to her and said, "You're never paying for carpet cleaning for me again. Like, we are cleaning your house for free." Well, why are you doing this, John? Because, and I'm not just going to give you money because you're going to refer us. You love us, right? Yeah, you love the experience. We roll out the red carpet, wear the booties. Built a client experience in your home. We have our risk reversal guarantee. If there's anything they're not happy with, not only do they get a re-cleaning and their money back, if they can find anyone else to get it cleaner, we'll pay their bill. We go over and above. Because our prices are high enough, we can easily afford that, but also, and afford the best technicians, but you have no risk referring us at all. At all. And you know that. So can we put a little sign by your till? Can I start putting some things in your mailings and your handouts and all of that kind of stuff that you are referring us as your choice to your clientele? And if anybody brings it up, well, in the room, the girls are cutting hair and you're in there doing some hair, and somebody says, "Oh yeah, I'm looking for a carpet cleaner," mention us. Absolutely, John. Right. And that became just outside of the norm of carpet flooring stores and interior designers and real estate agents that work in that realm. Now it was like, okay, can I think of other people that have my crowd?
Yes.
Who else?
Yep.
Right? It became
But
Mercedes dealerships and
yeah, you're right though. You have
Yep.
to speak that language,
Yeah.
like you did with your yellow page ad,
Yeah.
right? You right from the gate, right? So you get a cleaner to raise their hand through internet marketing,
Yeah.
and the minute a client clicks into their world,
Yeah.
the language needs to speak that I'm different
Yeah.
than the rest of the group,
Yeah.
right? So
Absolutely. Yeah.
no price advertising, no talking about discounts. It's starting with why. That's one of the things I teach my students is how to effectively tell your unique story
Yeah.
through your marketing and communicate your why you're in business. Because like Simon Sinek says in
Yeah.
his book, Start With Why,
Yeah.
people don't buy what we do, they
They buy
buy
why.
why we do it,
They
right?
do.
So
I
if
call
you
that the founder story. It's the exact same thing, but it's like, what is your, like, and sometimes some of our clients going, "Well, because I had Stanley Steamer in the house, they charged me $120." And I went, "That guy was only here an hour. I want to make $120 an hour." And I'm going, "Okay, we're gonna have to come up with a totally different story than that, because that was not a good one." But there's did your father did it? And we literally unpack it, and all of a sudden there is actually a story you can pull out. But you better come up like the fellow that says, "My daughter had allergies. Like, we had a new baby in the home, and by the time she was 3 or 4, she was on puffers and meds and all this. She had allergies, and I started learning about cleaning for health." And I started interviewing cleaners that knew about it and hiring people in that would clean the home. I put an air purification system in and stuff like that. And I got to the point where realizing that if I kept the carpet in the home, but let it collect and because I started learning about that and all this and did a proper cleaning process and all this, she could be on less medication and less puffers, and she was a healthier child. And it got me thinking. I ended up getting laid off from my career, and I decided I needed to do something else. And I thought, why not cleaning? Like, I've literally heard that story. It's not one of our clients, but I've heard that. I remember hearing that story like a decade ago from a fellow in the industry. And I'm going, that should be like, he wasn't telling it other than the odd person that asked. And I'm going, That is your marketing message. That is your homepage of your website. That is your
Exactly.
door hanger, not 3 rooms in a hall for $99. Hi, I'm
Nope.
a dad, just like, and a father and a husband, just like, and a family man, just like you in the home here. I want to tell you why I want to be your carpet cleaner. By the way, you're not going to notice any discounts or prices, price adjustments here. I actually do the job right. I guarantee this, and we do it at a reasonable price. Give us a call if you want to know what that's all about. We'll come into your home, we'll measure, we'll talk about it. And if you're a good fit for us and we're a good fit for you, we want to be your cleaner for life.
Yeah.
How is that not a totally different message in the marketplace?
Totally.
Right?
Totally different feel, totally
Yeah.
different message.
Yeah.
And you give them that this is the other thing that Simon Sinek talks about.
Yeah.
You give them that visceral feeling
Yeah.
that will cause them to stay loyal to you, even to the point where they'll suffer inconvenience
Yep.
to stay your client, right? I tell
Yep.
this story all the time. If you do everything right, you hit the ball out of the park, even if you charge a premium price,
Yeah.
but you click all the boxes of
Yeah.
delivering your why and an outstanding, or the book that's called Unreasonable Hospitality,
Yeah.
right? If you deliver that to the client, that experience, then the next time they call, it could literally be this scenario where someone is calling, you've led them up to their cleaning anniversary. It's month 11.
Yep.
You've set them up that next month is their cleaning anniversary, but they have company coming.
Yeah.
So they call and get on your schedule a month early, and some emergency happens in your life where you can't go out to do the cleaning.
Yeah.
If you've set everything up correctly, they will suffer inconvenience, which means they'll put off the cleaning till
Yeah.
after their company's gone to stay with you.
Yeah. Because they respect you so much and what you've
And
built
they don't
and
want
provided to them.
anyone else
Yeah. Yeah. Oops.
that Harley Davidson created.
Yeah.
It's the same experience that Southwest Airlines created.
Yeah.
It's that visceral feeling that they will stick with you and suffer inconvenience.
Yeah. And that's so a couple things come out of this that absolutely come out of these interviews. And one of them is you've mentioned several books already. And one of the big tenets that I realize is, we know readers are leaders. And learning from the experience of others and not being, it's a terrible word, but marketing incest, not being so transfixed about your industry that, all my competitors are doing this, I have to do this. Outside of the, what's the guy that's selling lobster from Maine all the, to the coast of California doing to get, people buying, at 3 times the price of 5 times, 10 times the price of the grocery store because of the story they're telling about why they should ship this cooler pack. What's that guy doing that you can learn for your carpet cleaning business?
Right.
You won't know until you read and learn and study and ponder. And we are the owners of the business, not the technicians. If you want to work at a carpet cleaning company, you'll probably make a pretty decent income being a carpet cleaner. In today's day and age, we're paying our guys $70,000 a year with bonuses and commissions. Nowadays, that would be close to 80 or 90, whatever, just as a technician, right? If you want to make that money, go work for somebody else who runs a good company. If you want to build a carpet cleaning business, you have to think of being the visionary, the marketer, the strategist of the cleaning company. You got to be the entrepreneur. You got to read the books. You got to put the tapes in, or the CDs or podcasts nowadays, and listen between jobs. And, you go out for a walk with, on your own to reflect at night and with the dog or whatever. By all means, you better be listening to something that is feeding your brain personal development or business development, because it all just starts weaving together and you get these light bulb moments that would never have happened. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally agree with you.
Yeah. So let's talk. I think we've again, there's been a lot of golden nuggets, and hopefully the people listening to this really understand that, again, we didn't know each other until about a year ago. Not even that like that. I'd seen you around in circles and stuff like that, but didn't kind of get a chance to touch base. And when the first time we talked, it was like, dude, we're like so aligned. It's like, what I mean? Brothers from a different mother. But
yes.
Explain a little bit about so the coaching program you keep talking about, it's Rising Academy, right? And
Rising Cleaners Academy.
Rising Cleaners Academy. Talk a little bit about that for anybody who's interested as well, because again, yeah, we do marketing based on this premise always because we want our clients. There are clients we have that are lower end, and we work on them to move it up and stuff like that. It's totally different marketing. When it's a higher end client, like even something as simple as Facebook ads, if you're doing a discount ad, Facebook's algorithm knows who slows down, who clicks on it, and next thing you know, your ads are being shown to that. The AI is going, oh, it's this end of town. It's these rental people. It's these, they all just want discount, discount, discount. And everybody goes, well, why are my ads getting all these tire kickers and this kind of stuff? If you run Facebook ads the other way, where you're telling your founder story, where you show pictures of your family, and you're just, again, do you turn the ad on and get calls day one? No, it's now you're teaching the algorithm to go, no, my clients are over there. And the ones that slow down and read the story and click through and want to learn more end up on my website and get followed up with messages. Hey, thanks so much for opting in for that guide on how to have a healthy home or whatever. Let me tell you why I started this business, why we're different, and why we want to be your cleaner. And you speak that language. You can still do that with good marketing. It's just you dial in the algorithms. Nowadays, we can't pick the audience as easily anymore. So you let the algorithm go, oh, the person that actually clicked through, we just keep teaching it as a marketer. This is the better crowd. You upload a list of your clients and say, find other people that look like them. There's ways you can still play with these platforms a little bit. Even local service ads, you can play with the platform a bit that it only shows your ads to the better and better and better client over time. So it's not a one and done fix. There's no rescuing a business, but 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 15 month, 18 month, 24 month, it is just getting stronger and stronger and stronger till it becomes like just a pipeline to the best area in town. And that's the only one that sees your ads. So
exactly, it's like a ship getting out of the harbor, like a cruise ship, right?
Yep.
It takes a lot of time and inertia and the most energy getting up to speed, right? But once you get through that initial tough part, you have to experience a little bit of altitude, a little bit of turbulence before you come to a comfortable altitude, right?
Yep.
Once it gets going, then it's like a flywheel. You can't stop it, and it's running on its own.
And then you sell the flywheel. The flywheel is the thing that you can exit.
You can, or pass it on to,
or pass it on to a family member or whatever with an exit.
What I'm doing, I'm passing my business on to my son. He's going to be getting married in October, and so Aiden is going to be taking over the cleaning monkey. And how proud does that make me as a dad, right? That all my blood and sweat has created
a legacy
life for him. So I want to pass that on to other cleaners, but it does come down in the trenches to how you communicate with your audience. You want your marketing to be attracting the VIP client while repelling the price shopper.
Yeah, you actually don't even want to have the conversation if at all possible. Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize that you don't have to fish net everybody. Matter of fact, you can't. You can't fish net everybody, right? So the program that I've created, it's not for everybody. It is for that cleaner that is either a single truck owner operator or a multi-truck family business. 3 of our students own a multi-truck family business. One of them is the general manager of a 3-truck operation. In the first 6 months on the program, they added $100,000 in revenue with our strategies, just our price strategies, right? And they were able to buy a brand new truck and truck mount cash. That was one of our greatest success stories, and we're only a year old, the coaching program. But it's for cleaners that want to break out of the land of average. They they're committed to being different, raising the bar, being coachable. That's the other thing that our industry has an epidemic of is so many guys think they can do it on their own. And if you look at any, like you had mentioned in the outset, if you look at any extraordinary successful person, they have a coach or a mentor. Michael Jordan had a coach or a mentor. Grant Cardone has a coach and a mentor. The great Tony Robbins, of all people, has a coach and a mentor, right? So there's not one person
Yeah.
that has achieved ultra success and did it all on their own.
Yeah.
So so who are we as little carpet cleaners to
Yep.
think that we could do that,
Yeah.
right?
No, even
So
those eye-opening moments that you had in your whole story that we talked about to this point was you kind of fell backwards into coach and mentors and then realized what you didn't know and needed to hire them, and kind of your whole journey has been around learning new things from people that can impart the knowledge to you. So
yep,
it makes sense that you've come full circle and going, you're now at a position to be one of those.
yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. And that's what has given me such satisfaction. I mean, it's very satisfying running a successful cleaning business,
Yeah.
but to teach others that
Yeah.
that changes their lives,
Yeah.
that has been amazing. So pretty much it works. The strategies work for really any company that services the residential customer.
Yeah.
We're starting though with the carpet cleaning
Yep.
and the floor cleaning crowd,
Yep.
and we're establishing social proof. We're establishing that the program works, and now
Yeah.
we celebrate our 1 year anniversary actually this month,
Oh, perfect.
which is very exciting. And every what we've proven is that every student that commits to the program
Yep.
does and I have exact scripts on exactly how to talk to the client from the initial phone call.
Yeah.
First of all, the language in your messaging, your marketing,
Yep.
to the initial phone call, all the way to the face-to-face meeting where I say the magic happens face to face, right?
Yeah. Yep.
All
And
the
then
way.
even your follow-up, you've got like, is it
Yep.
weekly? I think is your once a client's locked in, people go, like I used to say that we talk to our A-list clients 48 times a year in our marketing with different message, different this is even before before the days of email. It was like there was mailings, there was phone calls and before text messaging even. We would our A-list clients, we divide our clients and we knew which, the ones that we wanted to stay in touch with were almost weekly in the different campaigns and the monthly print newsletter that showed up that had nothing to do with carpet cleaning, and it was from me, the desk of John Clendenning, not from my business. The business was just the byline at the bottom, but let me tell you good helpful tips for around the home. Like we called it bathroom reading, but people would, when they got kicked off of our newsletter list, they cried. We get people going, I know I haven't used you in 3 years or 4 years or whatever our kickoff point, and we'd send them a letter. This is your last edition. We haven't seen you, and it's like, I'd really like to stay on the newsletter, Lo. And it's like, yeah, sometimes we just, okay, Mrs. Jones,
Yeah.
because she's 90 now, and she really didn't want the sofa cleaned this year or whatever. But more often than not, yeah, just get us back in the home, do a cleaning, and you're back on the list again, right? So,
Yes.
those kinds of things. So yeah, like your
Absolutely.
message comes from tip to tail, right? So
All the way to your stay in touch program. Yeah,
yeah,
we teach cleaners how to separate themselves,
yeah,
be different,
so essential.
give that home run service experience to where in 2, 3, 5 years from now, your business is full of VIP loyal clients that are using you every year,
Yeah,
and the majority of your income is coming from repeats and referrals.
yeah, yep. Brilliant. So how do they get a hold of you? Where do you get them to go to just kind of learn a little bit about Rising Cleaning Academy?
Yeah, risingcleanersacademy.com
Perfect.
is that is a sort of an intro
Yep.
audio video that talks about the
Perfect.
3 main mistakes that most cleaners are making and how to fix those. And then it allows you to book a call with me
Perfect.
if they want. Also, I'm on social media, Michael Clevenger. I'm in Cleaners Connect.
Yeah.
They can message me. Um, they can message me privately, or they can call me even right on my cell phone, 623-229-1032. I'm a transparent.
Transparent, keep the book
Book.
open. Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. Well, I appreciate it. I'm glad we jumped on this call. I'm sure we'll have many more because we could unpack any one of those topics probably for hours.
Yes.
And it's just helpful to the industry at large, the ones that tap into what we do, the ones that tap into what you do. There's some clients that have, found us and found you and found you and found us and stuff like that
Yes.
because we speak the same language.
Yes.
And we've just got I've done it for 30 years and we got a digital way of helping out in the marketing as well. But we do tell them, go back and start with your foundation first. Like you've got to start getting your language right and getting your scripting right and because the marketing doesn't work without that. And if you can raise your prices, Dan Kennedy has always said as well, he who can, spend the most to maintain a client, get a client and maintain a client wins. And you can spend the most because you're making more and more and more, and it still becomes a smaller and smaller fraction of your revenue. To keep land and then build the fence around and keep those clients. And like I guarantee you there's people listening to this going, oh, I can't believe that you would be marketing people that much, or you'd be, your database and, mailing. And there's some people that don't even, when's the last time you mailed your database, called your database, did anything?
Yes.
Going, I don't know. So
Absolutely.
let alone, they don't even realize the database is the most important asset they have.
Yes.
And then now they don't even understand how many touches people get before 10, 20% or less get annoyed. And again, that benchmark, all those little nuggets we shared. So yeah, by all means, reach out to Michael, go check his stuff out, see if it's right fit for you. It's the message we've always said. And I think the economy is changing to the point now where it sounds a little harsh, but it is kind of back to punch your competitor in the throat and steal their customers kind of economy a little bit. At least target your crowd that you want and make sure that nobody else goes after them. And that's how you will survive any changes in the discretionary income of the middle and the lower middle class and the middle class, because you're targeting the upper middle and upper class, and that crowd will be more than enough to sustain you through any hardships. So anyways, thanks, Michael. I really appreciate you jumping on. Hopefully people got value out of this. As always, kind of, give us a comment on whatever platform you're listening to this on. Let us know what you thought. And I'll pass that on to Michael as well. Anything that comes in on those platforms. And we really appreciate everybody jumping on. And thanks so much. Take care.